I'd like to say a few words about why using the millisecond function is better than using the delay function on the Arduino. The delay function stops the CPU for a certain number of milliseconds. It doesn't quite stop it. Interrupts are still running, some timers are still running, but nothing else in your code can run until the delay is finished. So if you want to have 2 or 3 or 5 different things all waiting for time for certain intervals before they execute again, using the delay is impossible. Using a millisecond function, you can build a number of timers. In this case, count 1 and count 2 are 2 timers. And in the loop function, we're going to see if count 1 is greater than the millisecond function. Yes, it's millisec, not millisecond. And is greater than millisecond, where millisecond returns a count of the number of milliseconds since the system was started, since the program started running. And it overflows after about 50 days. So if your program runs longer than 50 days, you'll generate an error, but most programs don't. So we compare count 1 to milliseconds. If it's greater than the number of milliseconds, then we're going to do some function, whatever it is, something your program requires logically. Then we update the counter so that it has a new value which is equal to its old value plus some interval. Let's say that you want something to be executed every 100 milliseconds. You'd have interval 1 equal 100. Concurrently, we're going to check count 2, another timer, to see if it is greater than the millisecond count. If it is greater than the millisecond count, we're going to do something else. We're going to do a second program function. One of these could be to check a keyboard, the other could be to blink LEDs. We're going to do something else, and then we're going to update count 2, in this case using a slightly more compacted C operator, count plus equal interval 2, where interval 2 could be 150 milliseconds. So both of these functions will happen. Neither of them will be locked out by a delay from the other one. Makes the system much easier to write, much easier to debug, and doesn't waste CPU time, which is a precious resource.